Hey, it's Old. This is Casual Gold. Last week I had done a little project where I just kind of wanted to count exactly how many glyphs I end up selling within the course of a week, and that's my dog sneezing. And to that end, what I wanted to do, or what I had done, I created basically an entire full stock of glyphs, and from there we're just going to take a look at what I need to make this week, and then that'll kind of give us an idea of what had sold in the previous week. And I'm not quite sure how I did at all in total, but well, it's Tuesday. I actually should have been shooting this Monday, but let's take a look at how we were doing. So we start off with this much gold, 264,000 gold or something like that. I think that's how much I had. So let's take a look. Actually, well, let me take a look previous. Let's see, what did I do? I'll look at like the old footage. I was at, actually I was pretty low. I was only at 239,000. So far it looks like I didn't make jack. But let's look at, well, there's a lot of gold that's waiting for me. Let's see how much I actually come out with. And so I did pretty decently this week too. Now I had started with like I think over 230,000 gold, and now I'm at 400. So that's what a buck 70 or so that I came up with, which isn't bad. Sales were, I know that sales were a little bit light because I haven't been on as much as I wanted, to be, but no complaints. That, and I know that prices have also gone down quite a bit ever since more and more people were starting to fly. There's more materials that are available. In fact, I think Rosate is comfortably sitting at under 5 gold now, and that's kind of the magic number, 5 gold, that I've been looking for. So I'm pretty much at a point where I can almost definitely stop farming for Dreamleaf altogether, and just kind of focus on buying stuff exclusively from the auction house, and otherwise maybe just buying Rosate pigment all on my own, or just by itself. Coming up shortly, or at least hopefully shortly, I'm going to try to recreate that entire spreadsheet. I know a lot of you folks have been asking for either my groups, which are too messy for me to want to give out, to be perfectly honest, but also the spreadsheet, which is a pretty powerful tool for me. But at the same time, I want to make sure that it's up to date. I made the spreadsheet a good number of months ago, and I'm not quite sure if the ratios or if the formulas or basically the drop rate of materials for every mill that you do, if that had changed. So with respect to that, and with my desire to not possibly deceive you guys with incorrect information, stay tuned for that one. I know I've been saying it for a little while, but well, right now is no exception. I just want to make sure that all of us have the right data and all that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish posting here, and then I'm going to switch over to Canon, and from there we'll finally take a look at just how much stuff did I actually sell during the course of these, well, I guess 8 days now. All right, so let's take a look at what we got. Ho ho hum. All right, let's get that thing out of here, and moment of truth. Let's see what we got. All right. So there's a lot of singles here, so I guess Shadow Succubus, while it is a high selling glyph, I guess I didn't do a very good job of catching stuff. Observer only one, which is another pretty typical glyph that I sell. Actually, all of these are, but what did I sell all of? Cracked Ice, that I went through all of that. Tattered Wings, Sentinel, that was another big one. Let's see, followed by well, I already said Cracked Ice, Fell Limp, Weapon Master, although I think that's a normal ink. Yeah, that's a non-leeching glyph. So not bad there. But let's take a look at, let's see, are there any others? Glyph of Stars, plenty of those. That's actually quite surprising. There are very few glyphs that it looks like I'm making. This almost seems kind of weird. I mean, this is from the looks of it, okay, I don't think I'm making any. Yeah, I'm not queued up to. Oh, okay, I'm queued to make Tranquil Mind stuff, so that's 96, and I'm not going to bother with that. So let's take a look at how many parchment I'm going to use. So 96. Let's see, that is, I forget how much parchment does it take to make a single Tome of Tranquil Mind. It takes 20 for those. Okay, so I'm trying to do I'm trying to do the math here, but basically from the looks of it, I do not need a lot of you know what? Let me just take this out of the equation altogether. How about I do that? Because that probably just make things a little bit easier. So let's screw that. I shoot, there are easier ways that I could have done this, obviously. Um, by just selecting here and not selecting Tranquil Mind stuff. So anyway, okay, from the looks of it, light parchment, I'm only going to make 177 glyphs. That is not a lot. Yeah, that is not a lot at all. Actually, even less than that. It's 147 glyphs. But hey, 147 glyphs was worth about 170 or so grand. And at least the way that I'm seeing it, I did not do a good job of covering the sales. I mean, this is pretty much an indicator of what kind of sales numbers I do when I post maybe like 3 or 4 times a day, just popping on, rolling the mouse and hoping for the best. And this is on a kind of medium population server, so that gives you an idea. That also gives you an idea of exactly what is going. Well, let me start this gathering dealy really quick. Hopefully, I have most of the materials that I need here. Yeah, so as you can see, I have a lot of Dreamleaf right now. I have 19,000. I think I want more. I don't know if 20,000 is good. I mean, it won't take me that. It won't really take me that long to get to 20,000. But this is the kind of scale that I want to work with when trying to recreate the spreadsheet. I know I have over 100 samples or over 100 stacks to choose from the last. Actually, no, I don't think I did 100 stacks. I think I did 80 stacks of Dreamleaf from the previous sheet. So, maybe just going for 100, that'll do it. So, yeah, maybe next week I'll post a video on kind of like I guess it'll be a time lapse, unless you really want to bore yourself. But it's basically going to be me setting up the new sheet, and I'm just gonna go through the process step by step, and hopefully not make a fool of myself and make a whole bunch of mistakes when trying to with trying to make a working sheet. I really hope I don't make mistakes, because then I'm gonna end up losing a hell of a lot of money. So let me get this thing started. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. I know that there are other ways using TSM that let me keep track of everything that I'm selling and all that stuff, but since I post from multiple computers, I wouldn't be able to get all that information together as best as I'd want to. So this gives you folks at home a pretty easy visual representation of what exactly I sell a week. 1 chilled shell, 1 forest path, and this is out of the 5 that I keep constantly posted. And these aren't bad. I mean, these are going at those were going for decent profits, and hopefully I can just kind of stay on top of the auctions, maybe a little bit more. I'm not super worried because I don't have there's no financial needs that I have right now anyway. I mean, it's only been a week, or I'm sorry, it's been 2 weeks. I'm at 400 grand. That's enough for 4 WoW tokens on US realms if I wanted it to be, and I'm crafting it enough. I'm basically crafting enough to recoup on the money that I had made last week. Although the prices have gone down a little bit, I'm just like, wow. Like I remember back in the days when there were so many glyphs that were available, like too many glyphs, and I had to hold them. I had to hold this huge amount of inventory through various means. So just having to do it this way, this eases up a lot of this makes things a whole lot easier, since I can hold everything at once and all that. Typical glyph of stars. That's definitely my my hottest seller. And so as always, regardless of what realm that you're on, folks, I do recommend try to maintain the most popular glyphs that are going, which typically include cheetah, stars, spectral wolf. I don't know if disguise is on here still. I think there was something else. Unbound elemental is doing okay. Soulwell. All these are typical, and I see kind of the same trend over on the other Soul Machine on the other server, which I don't really have an update on right now. I've mostly been just kind of leveling a little bit on him, but I just don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll just kind of pop on, gain a level or so, and then that's it. He's still trying to get to level 50, and in the meantime, he's still struggling along, making decent profit. Or, well, making a profit. I wouldn't call it a decent profit, to be perfectly honest, but he's still slugging along, and he's not broke. He hasn't lost. He's not in a position at all where he's losing money. I'm just being smart about that. But as for here over on Bleeding Hollow, I'm doing as well as I've always been. Still trucking along. So I think that's going to be it. I just wanted to keep this thing short and give you folks kind of an idea of the things, of just what it is that I sell, and give you folks an idea of the things that trend pretty high. So maybe there are a couple glyphs here that you can focus on, again, like Spectral Wolf, Stars, things like that, or any others that you happen to observe during this video. Those are things that you might want to focus on if you're not all that interested in having like a full coverage of glyphs to sell, because as you can see, the market is pretty competitive, and it's not likely that you'll be able to sell them unless you try to sell them directly through trade chat, or if you're just really diligent on the market. And that's not something that I do. That's not casual gold. That's pretty hardcore stuff, which is okay. It's totally fine. It's just not the way that I roll. So anyway, I'm gonna go and let you guys go for now. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week when we go over the construction of a brand new Dreamleaf sheet, and it is something that I will share. So stay tuned for that one. You guys have a good one, and stay breezy.